Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the second episode of the HNE podcast. I'm Nick, and I'm joined this time by James.
Hi, Diddley-o, neighborinos. Good to be back here this night.
And we also got Aaron with us.
What's cracking, lacking, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen?
I guess that's a good segue into our final topic, which is kind of a small discussion about whether DC's future on film is in smaller projects like Joker, Birds of Prey, and Shazam. Because I read this really interesting Forbes piece that kind of talked about the idea that ever since the end of Justice League, that was kind of the end of the Snyder era, and they've made Aquaman and now they're making Wonder Woman 84. Those are like big tentpole films that cost like 150 to 200 million, but at the same time they've kind of been able to squeeze in between three smaller movies that cost well under 100 million each. I think Shazam costs like 85 or 90 or something. But I don't know, it is interesting, I guess, to discuss that, like, should DC just go back to doing lower budget individual films rather than these big team ups and stuff and these big, like, spectacles, I guess.
I think that's an interesting thought. Should they go back to doing lower budget stuff? I mean, potentially.
Yeah, like pre Man of Steel, like Green Lantern.
Ooh. We're going to talk about Green Lantern.
Yeah, Green Lantern costs way too much money. That thing costs like 150, maybe even more actually, because they had like reshoots and ridiculous CGI budget. What are some other pre Man of Steel? Oh, Jonah Hex.
Oh, hit. That's gross. Batman and Robin.
Oh god.
Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, those are good. I actually don't know the budget on those. I have to look again. I need to double check those, but I don't know, James, what are your thoughts? Just what are your thoughts generally, just on them going back to smaller films? Are you looking forward to Joker and Birds of Prey? Did you like Shazam?
Oh, I thought Shazam was one of the best movies I saw this year.
Yeah.
Like, it was amazing, just like how much charisma Zachary Levi had as the character. And honestly, I think Shazam's a much more interesting character than Superman. You know, Shazam's got like personality.
Ooh.
He
Jeez.
yeah. Well, he reminds me of like Goku. You know, in that.
See that.
You know, in that, he's got all these powers, but he's kind of got a goofy side to him.
Wait, who's Vegeta then?
I'd have to get back to you on that one. Now you got me thinking. See, I'm trying to get like the whole group of like whole group of foster kids, and assign each a Dragon Ball Z character.
Well, I did want to mention quickly that the Dark Knight trilogy was not cheap. It was very expensive. It almost cost 500 million for the three films.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that was actually shocking to me.
yeah. Well, that's because Nolan had a heavy emphasis on practical effects.
Yeah.
This is true.
Like the truck flipping part in The Dark Knight. Like, they shut off like a part of Chicago and actually flipped a truck.
All those vehicles and stuff too he made.
Because he is one of a kind.
But they should not be doing big budgets for every DC film though. Otherwise they need to be shot.
No, and obviously with Joker coming out, like I like the smaller, like the smaller scale of that. It looks to be more of a personal, intimate look at a character, and it's not focused on the big spectacle. We're looking more at the inner workings of one of the greatest villains of all time.
Yeah, there's not going to be some universe level ending threat. It's just going to be like, how does he become the Joker?
Yeah, and it like honest, and this is like, yeah, this is like one of the movies where like I'm very curious like how Joaquin Phoenix stacks in terms of all the Jokers we've had.
But you got to compare it against Jared Leto, the most recent
I don't think that's going to be.
Joker.
I don't think that's going to be that hard. It's
Dang.
not going to be much of a challenge. Don't get me wrong, Jared Leto is a good actor, and I thought his performance as whatever he was doing was good. It just wasn't the
He
Joker.
was like Juggalo.
The Joker.
Yeah.
Jokalo.
Yeah. No disrespect to Jared Leto.
He's Morbius now. He moved on, dude. He rebounded.
Yeah. So it is interesting, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to Wonder Woman 84, which seems to be more of the bigger spectacle. And I really like the first Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Well, I told Aaron some spoilers about Birds of Prey and what the plot of that movie is, and that is definitely not a universe-level threat. That is a very small, contained, singular story. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that bugs me is like they still don't have like a proper like Green Lantern film. Also, they didn't do another Superman movie either. They kind of wasted that potential. But I mean, there are characters that I'd like to see, like Lobo, The Question,
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that could probably be a smaller film too. I think potentially.
The Wonder Twins.
Oh, the Wonder Twins. Nah. Oh, also the Flash. They still have yet to get that off the ground. I mean, supposedly Andy Muschietti's directing it now. He's like the 5th director that's come and gone out of this revolving door.
Wow.
I don't know how. Isn't it ironic that the Flash is the film that they're taking the longest on to make? But anyways, Aaron, what are your thoughts though on the future of DC on film?
Man, with stuff like Joker and then Birds of Prey and whatever else is coming, I think they're getting better. They've been going in a direction. I'm excited for Wonder Woman 89.
Yeah.
Or was it 88? 89?
84.
84, my bad.
Yeah.
80s. Wonder Woman in the 80s. Get hyped.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good time. And yeah, man, I think that DC's finally getting their stuff together, dude.
Oh, also,
I'm hyped for it.
I forgot, supposedly they're making an Aquaman spinoff based on The Trench. That's going to probably be...
Is that still happening?
Maybe. I know they have a script done, or they should have a script done. I mean, they were talking, there was some early talk that they wanted to try and like rush it out by next year or something. I was like, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I mean, theoretically that could be a smaller film too, because I think the rumor was that it was just gonna be like some kind of like it was like all in one location, like a submarine that gets like attacked by the trench. So I'm like, I feel like DC on film is like in such a disarray though, because it's like, even though they have like these good movies coming out now, it's just like, what are they building to? Are they just making like random standalone movies? I don't know. It just seems weird.
As long as we get a good final product.
Yeah, but it's like Marvel had this plan, right? Like all their movies kind of somewhat at least were going towards some kind of goal or storyline. But with DC, it's just like they're making like a random like Birds of Prey movie, this Joker that's like an Elseworld story, and they have like Shazam and then like a Black Adam solo movie. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we got to, and like thinking back to, like the big storylines, between Marvel and DC, because when I think Marvel, I think, the Infinity War, Secret Wars, and on DC end, Crisis on Infinite Earths is a big one.
Flashpoint, I think, too, right away.
Yeah, they're trying to rush everything, just like Justice League.
Yeah.
Justice League was a little too early, man.
Yeah, exactly, because half the league hadn't been introduced. You're just throwing them into this movie. So that was always the problem with it. I don't know if we'll never know what their plans were after Man of Steel before they even went into BVS. Supposedly there's a rumor that they wanted to just do a Superman trilogy like Nolan had done for Batman, but then where would that have gone? Had they done the Superman trilogy, maybe it would have just wrapped up a year or two ago, and then where would we be, right? So
no, imagine they did the Superman trilogy and then they started branching off and doing the other movies.
Yeah, but
Superman's like the flagship.
Yeah, but then it would have taken like probably like 2 or 3 years in between each movie.
But I think it still would have been worth it in the end. Like, would you get Justice League in like a year or two, as opposed to 2 years ago?
Yeah, from Man of Steel to Justice League was 4 years, and you had like 4 films in between.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you think back on it, I keep forgetting they're making a Suicide Squad sequel with James Gunn.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's the
See,
thing.
that's another thing. It's like, dude, like, when you think back, it's like, there was a Suicide Squad movie, like, that happened. I'm just like, why, though? Like, what was the point of it? Like, how did it tie into anything? And now they're making a sequel squarely because the first movie made money, kind of like a fluke, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, James Gunn, I'm sure it'll be fun and stuff, but I really don't have too much interest to see it, to be honest.
Yeah, no.
Unless the trailer is, like, amazing. But yeah, anyways, I think that's going to round out the episode, so let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you guys think of the news and stuff we talked about? If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can find me at who's_Nick. James, where can the people find you?
So they can find me on Twitter at Hair Beverage, or they can also find me on Instagram at Bevs1865.
Alright. Aaron, where can they find you at?
They can find me in a trash can. They can find me. They can find me in your local Carl's Juniors, but mainly you can find me on the Instagrams at the real Aaron Alexander.
And if you guys want to ask us questions for next episode, you can tweet at our main account at HNE Social. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next time.